boy, am I super excited to bring this video to you guys, because not only am I excited, or I was excited at E3 last year when I saw this game, but now after playing it and seeing a little bit more in depth of the game, I am excited to share a lot of information with you guys, and a lot of information you might not even know about the game that you're definitely going to want to make sure you watch this complete video to its entirety so you could understand what's behind one of the most anticipated games of 2019. Now, before I get started, I do want to give a massive shout out to EA Game Changer for actually providing us with the information for this video. So let's go ahead and dive right in and talk to you guys exactly about what you will expect once you get your hands on Anthem, and what you will need to know in order to make a decision if you should pre-order right now. So let's go ahead and break down this video and tell you guys everything I know about Anthem. After spending some time with the game, I can tell you the game looks amazing. And even though I did play this on a PC build, I would have to say the game looks really, really good. I don't know what it will look like on the Xbox One X or on the PlayStation 4 because I haven't had a chance to actually play it on that, but I did play it on a PC build, and all I have to say is that the game looks really, really sharp. Not only does the game look really sharp, but everything around the atmosphere of the game looks really good and it stands out. But before I tell you guys a little bit more of all the things that I saw and how good the game looks, I would like to give you guys a quick recap of what the game is all about if you're new and you've never heard of Anthem before. The game takes place in a different world that no one knows exactly what this world is. As of right now, we still don't know what the world is, but we know that the world is its own living environment. We do know that humans inhabit that world, but there is no industrial stuff going around. Like, there's no factories, there's no freeways, there's nothing of that type. The only thing we know is that this world was being crafted and created by the giants or the titans that were roaming around this world. Now, what happened is, for some reason, these giants disappeared, vanished. Right now, we don't know too much about that information, but after they vanished, they left all their tools that they were using to build this city or this world with, they left them within the universe. Now, the thing with these tools is that these tools shape and produce different sorts of atmospheric events within the world. For example, storms, which requires you as a freelancer to not only explore, but also to make sure that things are actually being well maintained within the world that you live in. Now, you're a human that is able to make a javelin suit, and this javelin suit allows you to do different sorts of abilities, have different sorts of weapons, have different sorts of attachments within your suit. Now, there's a total of 4 different types of javelins, or we should say classes. I will have an in-depth video going over each individual class, what their attachments are, what their abilities are in another video, so make sure you guys click on the description down below on the card on top. But just a quick reference, there's total of 4. You have the Ranger class, which is the first class you will start off with. You have the Colossus class, which is a more tankier class. You have the Storm, which is more like a wizard or a reference to Destiny, kind of like your Warlock. And you have the Interceptor, which is your more of a stealthy class that we have. Now, out of all these 4 different classes, you're able to unlock each individual class when you play the game. Now, like I said, when you start the game, you will start as a ranger, and as you progress yourself through the story of the game, midway through the game, you should already have all these classes unlocked. One of the neat features about this game that other games tend to not have is the ability of you being able to use all different 4 sets of classes, your Colossus, your Storm, your Interceptor, or Ranger, without having to create an additional character. This makes the game a little bit less grindy, and it gives you the ability to test each individual class and then finally deciding which is your personal favorite. Not only that, but this will also help you tackle harder objectives within the game and not having to sacrifice the time that you're going to have to be spending creating another class. You can simply just hop into a different class, and whatever class is more suited for that particular objective, it will give you the ability to be able to switch different sets of classes. So, for example, if you have friends that are running the Colossus and they need an Interceptor, then you're able to do that change really quickly without giving you that remorse like, man, I should have made an Interceptor when I made the game. So that's a really neat feature, and I think something that I really like that they added to the game, it gives everybody an option to pick which class they want to use for different objectives, but it gives them a chance to pick which one they want to stick for the long run. Another exclusive thing that I want to mention is that it does matter what type of character you make. Usually, when we're playing games, a lot of people say, like, if you make a female character, you have a less of a hitbox. If you make a male character, you have a wider hitbox. And this is a little bit present within this game, which is something I haven't really seen in too many games. It's mostly like a myth, but I have to say that in Anthem, it's actually going to be something that's going to be noticeable. If you make a female character within the game, when you start the game, of course, when you start the game, it's going to ask you to customize your character. If you do make a female character, character, the Storm and the Interceptor, you'll be able to notice the difference if it's a female or a male. Remember, you're always going to be within a javelin, but depending on what type of character you picked, male or female, it's going to represent what your javelin will look outward. So just a little bit of a tap it that I wanted to let you guys know when you guys are deciding to make your character. Now onto the really juicy information, guys. You guys are probably wondering, Laser, what abilities or what type of weapons will I be able to have in my javelin? Now I'll have a separate video going over each individual class and all of its abilities and every single thing that they're able to do, but right now I want to give you guys an idea of what every single javelin will have the ability to do. Each javelin will have an option to have 2 weapons within their slot. Now that includes anything from an assault rifle or SMG. That is what I had available at my disposal. I had an assault rifle and an SMG. Now I'm pretty sure there's other sorts of weapons like a sniper, a pulse rifle, and all that, like a shotgun. And you're gonna be able to check these weapons. Now the cool thing about these weapons is these weapons come in different sets of drops. You have your different sets of tiers. Of course, if we're gonna use a Destiny reference, of course you have your legendary, your exotics, your your greens, your blues. It's gonna be very similar to that concept. And each individual weapon will have its own different sets of ability. The higher tier the weapon is, the better the ability it's going to have. Now, with that being said, you're able to cycle between which different weapon you want to use. You can use your assault rifle, you can switch back over to your SMG, and that is the gist of the weapon system. Now, in addition to the weapon system, you also have a melee option. Now, each individual class will have its own melee weapon or its own melee ability. And just to give you guys a quick idea of what that might look like, if you saw the gameplay within EA, you will notice that the Colossus, when he jumps up in the air and slams down, kind of like a Titan Smash, he'll be able to smash down, cause an aerial effect, and that is his kind of melee ability. Now, for example, for the Ranger, which is the one I was using, he pulls out like some sort of staff, and he's able to kind of like whip it around, which is his ability. Now, of course, the Storm and the Interceptor will have their own abilities. Like I said, I will go into full detail in my class video, so you guys are definitely going to want to check that out. Now, this is where things get extremely interesting with this game, because what it does, it also has attachments. Now, the attachments are what makes this game really, really cool, because you're also able to put these attachments within your javelin, and these attachments will give you different sorts of abilities that you're able to use within the game. So, for example, if you're using the Ranger class, you'll notice that within the trailer, he threw a grenade, and that grenade allowed him to actually freeze the enemies and kind of just freeze them in place and just take them out. Now, each individual attachment has its own specific tier, so you're able to get legendaries, you're able to get rares, uncommon, and all that stuff. So it makes it really interesting because it's going to give you a purpose to actually worry about what type of gear or what type of armor, or in this case what type of attachment you have within your javelin. But what makes this extremely amazing is that you also get a ultimate ability, which if you play Destiny, it's kind of your super. Now this will build up as you kill NPCs, but the nice addition of this one is that each class has its own super, very similar to Destiny. For example, just to give you guys a quick idea of what these super look like, if you guys saw the gameplay, you will notice that the Ranger class, his super is launching a barrage of missiles right off the bat, and that makes it really exciting because you're definitely going to want to time this to know exactly on what enemy to use it or when to use it. So that's kind of like the idea of concept of what you could expect when you're using the character. So overall you have 2 weapon slots, you have a melee, you have 2 attachments, and you also have a super, making you super duper powerful within the world. Now I'm pretty sure if you guys are watching the EA conference, you guys already know that there's not going to be any heavy microtransactions, in the sense that you're not going to need to use microtransactions to feel powerful in the game or to buy powerful weapons. It's mostly going to be cosmetic, very similar to Fortnite. If you want to go ahead and get a cosmetic look for your character, you're able to do so by purchasing it, but it doesn't affect the gameplay of the game, which is a definitely plus for EA. Not only that, but I'm also pretty sure if you guys are watching, you guys already know that there's going to be a lot of customization within your character, within your javelin. You're able to change the color, you're able to change the way certain pieces look like, and all that good jazz. So I'm really excited for that, and I'm really happy that the microtransactions won't require you to actually get anything so you can feel powerful in the game. Is just mostly cosmetics. Now the biggest thing I could say that you're probably wondering is, Laser, what makes this game totally different than any other game you played? Now I have to say that the thing that makes this game very different than any other game that I played is the mobility, guys. The mobility of me being able to use a jetpack in this game. This is kind of like what separates this game from any other game you played. The mobility factor, because you're able to do so many things that you're not able to do in different games. Think of it this way. It's kind of like if you were Iron Man within a game. It's really, really cool and really exciting because it's going to give you a vast array of different ways to approach the game. For example, if sometimes you want to take height advantage on an enemy, you could just definitely fly up in the air and get that high ground. If you want to loop around an enemy, you're able to loop around the enemy. If you want to get someone in the flank and want to go behind a mountain and loop around, you're able to do that. And what makes this game really exciting is that you're able to feel that jetpack power. Now, one thing I do want to let you guys know, it takes a little bit of getting used to, guys. Usually if you press R3, you kind of have this hover effect where you're kind of just like floating in the air and you're trying to figure out exactly what the controllers do. So I think the biggest thing I would have to say within the game is getting used to the controllers. Takes a little bit of a while just because we're not used to flying too much in games, but I would have to say that what makes this game completely different than any other game you played, and something that you definitely would have to experience as a gamer, because it's something you probably haven't experienced in other game or any other genre, is the ability of being able to fly with this jetpack. Not only are you able to take to the sky, but you're able to dive all the way down into the water, explore caves, and all that fun stuff. So as a person that loves video games, I would recommend it highly to anybody that you definitely should at least give this a try and experience how flying feels within the world of Anthem. Now, the overall question I'm pretty sure everybody's asking, or the main thing that everybody's going into this game is they're thinking, this is like another Destiny clone. This is Destiny 2.0, and I am here to tell you this is not a Destiny clone. This is not Destiny 2.0. I'm going to give you guys the best reference or the best kind of example I could give you on what this game feels like and what this game is compared to different games. So it's very similar to Monster Hunter. So if you like Monster Hunter, that type of shooter game, not only is it very similar to that, and if you ever played a BioWare game, the one I could probably simulate it to the most would have to be Andromeda or Mass Effect, kind of like right there. And it has a little bit of elements with the world of Destiny, but it is not something that you could say this is just a clone of Destiny. It's all kind of all those three games put together in this beautiful world and with this beautiful story and plot behind the game. I am extremely excited about this game. I hope you guys are as extremely excited as I am, but if you guys are not and you're still trying to figure out if this is the game for you, let me know any question down below. I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities if I have the answer for that. If not, I'll definitely reach out to the developer and find out if I can get that answer to you guys. I want to know from you guys though in the comment section down below, how excited and how hyped are you for this game? If you are hyped, put hashtag hype. If you're still on the fence, just put hashtag fence so I can know exactly how you guys feel about the game. Don't forget, guys, if you want to stay up to date to everything Anthem, I will have you guys completely covered with everything that has to do with the world of Anthem. So that's something you guys are liking and something you guys are definitely interested in. Do me a huge favor, guys, and drop a like. Share this video with your friends because it does help me out a lot. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you guys can know exactly when the videos go live. And don't forget, guys, for all things Anthem, make sure you guys keep it locked on this channel, and I will catch you guys on the next video.